There are a handful of multi-billion-dollar publishers who exemplify the worst the gaming industry has to offer, but in the last few months, no company has taken the spotlight quite like Activision. I hardly have to recount the fact that the company mercilessly laid off 8% of their workforce, which is almost 800 people, despite having reported record revenue and after having handed $15 million worth of awards to their newly appointed CFO on a silver platter. But it's not just their staff that Activision has shown no remorse for. Consumers have had to face the brunt of the company's greedy antics as well, most recently with the release of Black Ops 4. There was already plenty to criticize when the game's monetization system primarily revolved around a Battle Pass style system that demanded unreasonable grind from players who didn't pay to skip through progression. But Activision has taken Black Ops 4's atrocious microtransactions to the next level, having added loot boxes in their latest update, and to the surprise of nobody, they are freaking awful. The following information was first reported by Treyarch's official website, which details a major update for Black Ops 4 called Operation Grand Heist, which is about as appropriate of a name as you'll get given this is Activision's Grand Heist on players' wallets. Scrolling down through this laundry list will eventually reveal the relevant bullet point, which reads as follows. Blackjack's Reserves. New reserve items include playable zombie blackout characters, Vacation Hudson sporting a Hawaiian shirt and tie, Mastercrafts for the KN-57 and Outlaw, and much more. Items from reserves in past operations will be available in Blackjack's Reserves, including the Mozu Replicant and SG-12 Boombox Mastercrafts. Additionally, cases containing Blackjack Reserves can be earned by playing multiplayer or Blackout, or they can be acquired in the black market. So what do these loot boxes, or reserve crates as they're known here, look like in action? Well, Eurogamer did a pretty good job in breaking everything down and posting relevant screenshots in their latest article. The update first greets you with this news bulletin, which reads, Blackjack has opened his vault of reserves. Play multiplayer or Blackout to earn reserve cases, which will grant one item from Blackjack's reserves. Crates can also be acquired, and each crate includes 3 cases from reserves. Going into the store menu proper, you can see that each loot box costs 200 Call of Duty points, which is the equivalent of 2 real-world dollars, discounting extra ones you might get from additional COD points attached to purchasing the more expensive packages. When you open one up, you'll get 3 randomized items, and what's particularly egregious about these loot boxes is that A, they don't tell you the odds of obtaining items of varying rarity, B, it's possible to get duplicates of already owned items, and C, some of the items you can earn aren't strictly cosmetic. Eurogamer pointed out how some of the items they obtained include signature weapons that granted an extra 25% experience points per kill. So not only can you get full-fledged weapons out of these crates, you can also get versions of them that grant a bonus to your progression. Eurogamer's article also noted that weapons you earn in loot boxes are from past seasons or past operations, so for those who might have missed out on exclusive weapons that have come and gone, the only way to earn them now is by opening crates and hoping you get what you want. On top of all that, according to Reddit users, loot boxes also have a chance of dropping specialists from past operations for those who might have missed out on those as well. And because the game doesn't tell you the odds of obtaining different types of rewards, and because it's possible to get duplicates, it's probably safe to say your chances won't be very good, and that you'll have to spend a significant amount of money to earn a desired item. Now, players can earn loot box items via gameplay, but if I'm understanding this correctly, what you earn via gameplay are essentially downgraded versions of loot boxes. The loot boxes you buy with real money are called crates and offer 3 items from Blackjack's reserves, whereas loot boxes you earn from gameplay are called cases and only grant 1 item from Blackjack's reserves. According to Eurogamer, cases are earned on a timer represented by this circle, and it can apparently take 2 hours of gameplay to fill up and earn 1 reserve case. And all that time may go to waste if the 1 random item you earn happens to be a duplicate. Now, it is worth noting that reserves aren't entirely new to Call of Duty Black Ops 4, it's just that they're now implemented completely differently. Reserves used to be much more closely tied to the game's contraband, which is Black Ops 4's version of the Fortnite Battle Pass style progression system, through which you earn specific items that are exclusive to a season or an operation as you level up through tiers. Reaching some tiers may have awarded you with whatever item is listed, while reaching other tiers may have awarded you with reserves that gave you one random item. And after you reach the max tier of 100, reduced from 200 after players complained, you would earn a reserve for every tier beyond. Now, players could level up beyond tier 100 by simply playing the game and earn these single item loot boxes that way, but the game also offers the option of skipping a tier for 100 Call of Duty points or for $1, thereby allowing players to spend real money on randomized items. But now if you go past tier 100, you'll just find empty slots indicating players can no longer earn reserves by leveling up. Players now have to either wait until this circular timer fills up to earn a case that gives you one random item, which takes a long time, or they have to spend money on crates that give you 3 random items, vastly diminishing players' ability to earn reserves via gameplay and in turn, further strong-arming them into shelling out extra cash. Not to mention that the free daily tier skip the game introduced that allowed players who reached max tier to obtain a free reserve every day significantly loses its value. Adding insult to injury is how some of the game's cosmetic rewards are being handled, particularly where weapon camos are concerned. Players have learned that instead of unlocking a certain camo that can be applied to every single weapon in the game, they have to unlock the same camo for each weapon individually. So if you have a preference for how a certain camo looks on a certain weapon, you cannot just get the camo and apply it, you have to hope you get the version of the camo that can be equipped for that specific weapon. As an example, this specific splatter camo can only be equipped on the MOG-12. It should come as no surprise that players absolutely detest the system, as it only serves to pad out a progression and reward system that already feels woefully sluggish, even with all the updates that have been made since launch. Most will agree that the average non-paying player will not be able to reasonably earn all coveted items a season has to offer within its allotted time limit without spending a huge amount of time and unless they essentially make Black Ops 4 their full-time job, even after the implementation of daily tier skips, the reduction from a max tier of 200 to a max tier of 100, and the general adjustments made to the game's progression system. And this is no doubt all part of Activision's grand design. After all, if players can't earn everything in a given season, that only means they'll have all the more incentive to purchase loot boxes in bulk for the chance of earning desired weapons, cosmetics, playable characters, and specialists they might have missed out on. To make a long story short, this entire system is nothing but mind-numbingly egregious, and it goes to show once more that Activision Blizzard has absolutely zero shame in pulling all stops when it comes to nickel and diming their consumers, just as the company has no shame in sacking almost 800 of their employees on a whim. Keep in mind that Black Ops 4's new loot boxes are only the beginning. There are numerous other monetization systems that the game exploits. There is the Battle Pass style system that allows you to skip tiers for $1 each, thereby enabling players to breeze through earning a season's items before time runs out by simply spending cash. There are also what are called special orders, purchasable packs of items whose contents aren't immediately accessible, but rather players have to unlock its contents by leveling through a second set of tiers that's layered on top of the main tier list. Then there are the featured items found in Blackjack's shop, which are rotating items that can be directly purchased for Call of Duty points, though at a hefty sum. You may recall that it was through featured items that Activision decided to sell a literal red dot reticle for your reflex sight for $1, or a smiley face reticle from older games for $2. Black Ops 4 Zombie Mode also has its own monetization system, allowing players to purchase a currency called Nebulium Plasma that can be used to craft elixirs and talismans, consumable buffs that can dramatically aid in one's survival, and by crafting I mean obtaining rewards randomly in loot box fashion. And let's not forget that Black Ops 4 is a game that launched at a minimum base $60 price alongside a $50 season pass that has woefully served to split the player base. It's just layers upon layers upon layers of money-milking schemes that I'd be hard-pressed to give a pass even if this shit were implemented in a free-to-play game. I took enough umbrage with how the recently released free-to-play Apex Legends tainted an otherwise phenomenal game with its implementation of loot boxes, but that pales in comparison to Black Ops 4, which takes monetization to a whole other dimension, especially with this latest update, and it's a premium-priced game with Season Pass rather than free-to-play to boot. But what else do you expect from the company that paywalled a remaster of Modern Warfare behind the purchase of Infinite Warfare for some time before eventually selling it as a standalone? The company that retroactively added microtransactions to a graphically enhanced version of an older title? The company that resold old Modern Warfare DLC at a more expensive price point than when they first launched a decade prior? What do you expect from slimy executives who cut jobs by the hundreds and demanded that passionate developers cut costs and take shortcuts while the company thrives and while they fill their pockets with tens of millions of dollars worth of salaries and bonuses? What else can be expected from a company with a long track record of pursuing some of the most despicable consumer employment and business practices in the industry, stemming from their singular drive to make not just enough money but all the money in the world? Another important piece of context is that despite raking in record revenue throughout 2018, Activision also lost almost half of its stock value over the course of 5 months, a result of the market correcting itself as well as sales of certain games not meeting the unsustainably high bar set by the company and its investors. Black Ops 4's performance was deemed a disappointment despite raking in $500 million in just 3 days and despite becoming 2018's best-selling game. The dwindling number of active users across all Activision game franchises did not inspire confidence among investors. The relentless backlash against Diablo Immortal's announcement spooked a few into pulling out. Activision's decision to part ways with Bungie and Destiny so abruptly raised concerns. And to top it all off, many have noticed what a lean year 2019 is overall looking to be for this company. So Activision responded in kind with a mass layoff, which investors see as a positive sign when it comes to financial prospects, and with even more egregious monetization in existing games. It's classic Activision MO. Recall that when they reported disappointing commercial performance for Destiny 2's Forsaken DLC a few months ago, one of their immediate responses was that they'd mitigate this by seeking out more monetization opportunities. Fast forward to today and look at how that's manifested in the form of some truly abhorrent loot boxes layered on top of existing atrocious microtransactions in Black Ops 4. And who knows how else their pursuit for rampant monetization will manifest moving forward. These are one man's take on the situation. I'd love to hear what your take is on Black Ops 4 introducing loot boxes in the comments below. With that, I would like to end this news update and discussion video. Thank you for tuning in. To be further updated on all things gaming news, reviews, and discussions, stay tuned right here on Young Yeah. I'll see you guys next time. Young out.